Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to our Paul, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Makar Kodesh, Kal Hal, and Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Makar Kodesh. That's the nation Hebrew, saying all praise to Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Yahweh is the correct name for the God of the Bible, who the world ignorantly called Jehovah, God, or Yahweh. His son's true name in the Hebrew is Yahushai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. The true name for the God of the Bible in the Hebrew is Yahweh. His son's true name in the Hebrew is Yahushai. I want to give double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to all our brothers and mothers pushing this word in sincerity and in truth, to all that believe in this gospel. Shalom. Brothers are from Camp James, Jamaica, and this lesson, the Lord's will entitled make patience have a perfect work, which I believe I've touched on this topic before. Just want chiming back on it as well. Our experiences that we go through with the Most I already have set up, it's basically build our faith. Or is written, the just shall live by faith. But how would be able to obtain this knowledge, or this level of faith without certain, as they are saying, you have to learn to dance a yard before you dance abroad. And in the time to come and go, need crazy faith. So what the Most I do through a walk is, in scenarios or situations, we'll go through them so we can learn by experience, to trust in the Most High more and more and more, right? And so we can be faithful in little things, so when the big things come, we can be faithful in them as well. So this is James chapter 1 and verse 2. It says, "My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience." So the trying of our faith here work with patience, because you go through it, you start wait upon ultimately how about Hashem shall be fulfill, or if come through. As it says in the book of Romans. No, sorry, not Romans. It's 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. It says, there are no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So Yahweh Shem create ways here. So when you give you the temptation, when you give you the trial, there's also a way set up already for endure. Right? And through our experience, through reading the scriptures and our life experience, right, with that build our faith. That's a part of our faith building as well, our experience. Know that, hey, most of our back, we've been going through it. As written, look at the generations of old did ever. I'm seeing that. Can I get that real quick? Bear with me. In the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, on verse 10, it says, "Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in it, the Lord, and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear, and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?" So the record, set it straight, the answer is none. So once you believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and trust in him and your heart your way, right, guess what? He's going to be there for you. And that faith, we get it in the scriptures, is definitely a gift, right? But even build more with the experience, the more we go through things, and so the Most High come through for us. So that's why I'm going to go back to James now, chapter 1. Reading back verse 3 says, "Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." So when I go through it, you'll make patience have her perfect work. Embrace the situations with more boldness, knowing that, hey, with these experience, I see we're going to actually learn and believe in our faith by our experience. For example, I have this account here. I'm going to read real quick. Um, with with Laban. This is this is Genesis chapter 30, verse 27 to the point. It says, and Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, referring to Jacob in 1 tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord had blessed me for thy sake. So by him experience, by when him live, by when him see with him own eyes, and go through him know say, hey, from Jacob come here, basically and get blessed. So by us, you're going through situations and seeing where you how about Hashem, you shy of a back you over and over and over, then by default that'll build a faith even more. Right? It's like even learning a skill or whatever, it's basically through experience, through you going over it over and over and over and over. That's what build your confidence versus a first timer. First time I may have all the theory, but most likely timid. Right? Because you never experienced it before. Versus somebody, like, give example, like, let me see some meme going around, like people that trading, especially crypto trading, you have time when the market, get rough. And then, like, regular old time crypto trader, like, yeah, it's a regular day in the park. Versus a first time trader, you're dead. Alright? So that's us, the more experience, the more situations, like, for example, here the apostles them talk about for them experience, like, shit, but you actually build them, right? So them can come out, having even more faith in your how about Hashem, you shy more trust, and that come by what? The experience, right? This is Romans chapter 5, start of verse 1. It says, therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with Yahweh through our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace wherein we stand, and rejoice in hope of the glory of Yahweh. And not only us, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that the tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. So one lead to the other. And one get in as well. Just give me a minute. Pull it up in NLT. Book of Romans 5. I'm going to start the verse. Start the verse 3. So Romans 5 verse 3 in NLT, it says we can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance. And how you do that is like, for example, I'm gonna go to the gym here, or I'm knowing if you basically stress out about the muscle tear and all of that, muscle fatigue and whatever, I'm going through the strain. Because by experiencing muscle by this, you're gonna build more. That's the road, verse 4 says, and endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. Yes, so the situations that we go through make us harden us and build our faith, right? What leads to salvation, we endure unto the Lord's willing. So if we go through the situations, you learn to call upon Yahweh, worship, experience that, to say, yeah, this is the truth. Right? But if we go through the trial, the test, how we were found, faithful by going through the fire, going through the trial. So the same way we even try when we hear the name of the Most High, prove it. The way apostles them say, through thy name, basically cast out devils, Right, versus when we think him name Jesus and God and sister that in a sense, waste. Right? Now we have the truth. It get tested, it's been proven, and we have full assurance. To the point, as the apostle them say, we don't even argue with nobody no more. We don't chat is, we don't debate, because we have the truth, we prove that. We know that for sure certainty. Nobody can confound the truth. We have that. And that come through our experience, So you see when we go through the trials, the tribulations, yeah, let's have make it patience. Just as Scripture say, make patience have a perfect work. It have a go you will have to go through that process. So we can actually learn by experience, what it's like to trust in the Most High and how the Most High come through for us, yeah? This Hebrews 13, verse 5 says, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he had said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee, so that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. And a part of being able to boldly make a statement like this is what? Through experience. We go through it. You see me? So basically even hesitate, about Shemesha I come back. The amount of time I go through hard times I'm still the most I come through. What is another time? Another example as well, this is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 34 and verse 9. It says, a man that had travelled knoweth many things, and he that had much experience will declare wisdom. So you go through it. So for example, even when brothers maybe I go through 1 and 2 tribulation or whatever they go through, so 1 and 2, you have been around the block. You have been through hell, can even comfort that brother. Saying, yeah man, worry your brain man, that will come through for you, because we go through this and we go through that, and at times I feel like there's no way out, but that's when the most I will show him power, for the most part. He says, he that had no experience know it little. You don't go through none, you really know none. Faith small. I'm not like belittling, like maybe have much experience. So yeah, you have the 1 and 2 experience of where maybe go through much where you have full confidence versus having that experience on their belt with the faith. That's sure. Been there, done that. Now again, people may go through certain things and see the most I come through, and you wonder, oh, you go through so much and you still not have the faith, But this point is basically for example, brothers and sisters, when you go through the problem, then when you go through situations, if you just trust in your how about Shem Shai. It says it says he that had no experience knoweth little, but he that had travel is full of prudence. It says, when I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. I was oftentimes in danger of death, yet I was delivered because of these things. The spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. And how would you be able to know that? I experience him travel and see it play out all the while. We see it even the scriptures play out. It says, whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear, nor be afraid, for he is his hope. It says, blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Lord, to whom doeth he look, and who is his strength. For the eyes of the Lord are upon them that love him. He is their mighty protection and strong stay, a defense from heat, and a cover from the sun at noon, a preservation from stumbling, and an help from falling. He raised up the soul, and lightened the eyes. He giveth health, life, and blessing. And we experience this, we live it and go through it and know that hey, Yahweh Shemel Shai is there for us here. I'm reading back now James 1, we'll close with it once more. James 1 verse 2. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, not wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So they will go through the experience, so when be double-minded, yeah. Or like we like, I want them to say, no, fuck that. Me go through this whole time and see it play out. Full assurance, full faith. Which ultimately is a gift. So hope this is a edifying intellect out there. Giving our praise to our poet Yahweh, Hashem Shai, Hashem Kakadash. The one is unto our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the full leg. Shalom.